All right, step one in making a color wheel. So you should have this piece of paper that has two color wheels, or two wheels on them. Don't bend it. This is just, it's okay if it's bent for what I'm doing here, but you don't want it to be bent, you want it to be flat. Now, we're gonna cut one of these wheels out and leave one of the wheels clean and in a safe place, because this is the wheel that you are going to glue your colors onto when we're all done. And so this one, you want to write your name in the middle here. So Mr. V, this is going to be my color wheel when I get my colors painted and placed on here. So I'm not going to paint on this piece of paper. I'm going to paint on a different piece of paper, cut my shapes out, and put them in these slots. So what I need to do in order to get those those swatches onto my color wheel is I need to cut out first one of these wedges. And so I want to cut right inside the black line of this swatch. So I'm going to come in, like, really look closely and try to cut right on the inside edge of that black line. And if it's okay if I cut a little bit into that circle there, because I'm not worried about this here anyways. And then I'm going to cut around a little bit right here on this little part. I'm cutting right inside the edge. So the wedge should have very little to no black left on it, while there might still be quite a bit of black on the piece of paper that's left over. So I'm going to keep going around. I'm actually going to go on this side because it's a little bit easier for me to see what's happening if I'm on this side of it. Now, there shouldn't be, it's best if there's a little bit of black on this wedge on the edge, and not, there shouldn't be any extra white here in between. So I don't want you to cut like a little tiny wedge out of here. It'd be better to just cut right along the black if you're having that kind of an issue. So there shouldn't be any white on the paper that from which you're cutting this wedge. All right, so here's my wedge. There's a little bit of black around most of the edges here, and that's what I want, just a little bit of black. Let's see if you can see that. Let's focus here. So you can see there's a little bit of black here, and there's just a little bit of black around the edges, and that's just fine. Okay, now here's what we're going to do next. Let's change my focus. You're going to take out one of your pieces of paper and a pencil, and you're going to take your swatch here, hold it down, and gently, easily, nice and easy with a light. You don't want to make big, strong, dark pencil marks here, because the more lead you get on this paper, the more lead is going to end up in your paint when you paint your swatch later. So you want just a very light swatch there. Now, at this point, if you want, you can cut this out and have a little bit easier stencil to draw with, because you need to draw this several times here. You need to make you need to use this wedge as a stencil to draw this wedge over and over again. 1, 2, so you need to have 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You need 12 wedges. Now, you're going to need 12 wedges when you're done, but it's going to be better for you if you mark off about 20 of these things. So if you do 20 of these outlines, then you're going to have plenty of colors to choose from when you go to glue them onto your color wheel. So you'll have a better range of colors from which to choose in order to make your color wheel as the best that it can be. So outline this wedge 20 times on this piece of paper, or at least 15. So at least 15, but 20 would be better. So you should be able to get like 6 or so here, and you should be able to get at least 20 on this piece of paper, no problem. So I leave about this much space, about 3/4 inch or so between each, so that you have room so you can paint over the swatch and not have to be too careful with it. We're going to cut this out when we're all done painting it. So your first step, cut out a wedge carefully. Keep this safe. Draw the wedge. Use this as a sample, as a stencil, and draw the wedge at least 15, but it'd be better to do it 20 times. And that is part 1, or step 1, of doing a color wheel.